I'm in the mountains on an abandoned railroad, and today we're building this, an electric rail bike camper. I'll be making the wheels, building custom axles, and once it's finished, we'll load it up with gear and take it on the abandoned railroad. So if you've never seen this bike, this thing is cool. So it's a retired postal service bike. It has 2 wheels in the back and 1 in the front. I picked this bike up a couple months ago for $500, and the postal service paid $40,000 for it. And the back is perfect for camping. I've got a wood stove and lights up there. All right, so first things first, I need to see what the heck I'm working with. This bike is actually a trike, and it has an electric motor that powers both of the back tires. So I need to remove the axle and see what I'm working with. Mini bolts later, and out comes the axle with the diff and the rotor and the sprocket. This is quite the system. So there's a differential right here. Problem with that is each wheel can turn independently of the other. And for a train to stay on the track, the wheels have to be locked together so they can steer each other in the correct direction. So I need to take this apart and see if I can make this work. If not, I'm gonna have to make a new one. Hopefully, somehow I can lock this diff so the axles are connected. Woo! That's what a postal service delivery bike diff looks like. I could weld them together, but with every other one of my rail vehicles, something breaks and it's always the axle or a wheel. So I really want to fix all my old mistakes with this build. So I'm going to start from scratch. I've got the new axle. With this new solid axle, I need to machine it so I can use the original sprocket and brake rotor. This is what I'm going to make the new axle out of. It's just solid 1-inch stainless steel. You can buy pre-made axles. They're just really expensive. So I'm going to make my own. But before I can do that, I need to get my mill out of the corner. It is jammed back here. As you guys can see, I'm not working with a lot of space because the Navy flying hovercraft is taking up most of it. This hovercraft is giant. First step with the new axle is to machine a keyway so the wheels can slide on and be mechanically locked to the axle. All I have to do is carve out a 2mm deep groove. And now that the right side has a groove, I just need to flip the axle and cut the left side. The axle keyway turned out great. Now I need to design some keys to go into the axle so I can slide the wheels on and everything stays in place. All a key is a chunk of metal that locks 2 pieces together with the help from a keyway. And we're gonna cut it out of this metal with my new tool. It's a Wazer waterjet. Check this thing out. So I've only had it for about a week, but I've been using the heck out of this thing. If you've never seen a waterjet, it's basically really high-powered water with little pieces of rocks in it. This puppy can pretty much cut anything. Silicone, metal, rubber, glass, cuts all sorts of things. I'm designing some new engine mounts for the flying hovercraft, and I'm gonna be cutting them out on this. I'm still learning how to use it, so before I cut anything, I just do a dry run and make sure I have it situated. Time to fire this puppy up. All right, let's see what we've got. We've got our axle key. This is gonna hold everything together. It fits pretty good, but it could be a little bit bigger. If I had cut this by hand, I would definitely call it good enough. But since I can just change a couple measurements and send it back off, I'm gonna print out a new revised one. Time for the most exciting part, the wheels. So for this build, I'm going all out on the wheels because in years past, I've literally hand carved the rail wheels. So let me show you guys what I've been working on for the last couple days with the wheels. So this is a 5-piece mold that I can 3D print and pour polyurethane into and hopefully get a perfect wheel that's both round and conical so it will steer itself down the tracks. Time to send this off to the 3D printer and go to bed while it prints and wake up and pour some wheels. Good morning, 3D printer just wrapped up. Let's see what I'm working with. Check that out. So this is the inner hub of the mold. That turned out great. I've been trying to print this for days and I kept having issues. So I'm so glad it finally worked. So I've got 4 outer pieces and they all interlock. Let's see if the inside piece fits. It has all these dowel marks, so it will lock into place. Fits so good. Check that out. I'm gonna fill this up with water and see how much it holds. All right, here goes nothing. So this is a 2-part polyurethane casting. So basically it's just a skateboard wheel. So you mix this with this and you have a couple minutes to pour it and then it hardens up. Almost forgot to spray it with the mold release. Oh, this makes me nervous every time I pour this stuff because any mistake, there's no going back. Part B going in. Part A's going in. Oh man, I hope this works. I can feel the heat coming off of it. It gets really hot and then it hardens up. While I eagerly wait for that to cure, I need to design a hub for the wheel and I'm gonna cut it out on the waterjet. For the hub, all I have to do is sketch in that little keyway so it locks to the axle. Check out this hunk of metal. This is gonna be turned into the wheel hubs. I'm still pretty new to this machine, so it takes me a couple minutes to set it up before each cut. But once I get the hang of it, I'm gonna be running this thing 24/7. This thing is unreal. And just like that, I'll have a perfect hub. This would have taken me forever to do this by hand. Sweet, now let's see how the wheel turned out. Whew. So far, this is by far the best wheel I've ever made. Let's keep peeling back the layers. Rats. That wheel did not turn out as good as I was hoping for, but the real moment of truth is to see if the hub fits. Check that out. So I designed the wheel to perfectly fit this hub. So if the hub fits the wheel, I know the wheel is good. If it doesn't fit, I know my mold is messed up. Wow. That fits like a glove. Let's put all the ingredients together, see what we got. There we go. And that's our wheel. Time for wheel number 2. The first wheel turned out pretty bad. I think it's because I didn't mix it well enough. So for the second go around, I'm gonna mix it 30 seconds with the drill and 30 seconds by hand. I'm gonna mix it by hand. Make sure to scrape the sides. I'm gonna pour it slower this time. Whew. That went so much better than the first time. On the first wheel, I don't think I mixed it enough, so there's like waves through it. Hopefully it works, because I don't have more resin to pour another wheel. These took so much, 1 gallon each wheel. Quick break in the video to tell you about today's sponsor, Good Chop. Good Chop is America's #1 seafood and meat delivery service. Everything they offer is sourced exclusively from American farms and fisheries. The quality is so good. Good Chop is awesome because they deliver high quality meat straight to your front door. Whether you love 100% grass-fed beef, organic chicken, or wild-caught seafood, Good Chop has it all. With over 100 menu items, Good Chop is your one-stop shop for high-quality protein. Me personally, I love a good steak. Check out this thick-cut ribeye. A little bit of butter, a little bit of salt. If you want to get in on the action, go to goodchop.com/YouTube and use code 50MattSpears, or hit the link in the description to get $50 off your first order and free shipping. That's goodchop.com/YouTube and use code 50MattSpears for $50 off and free shipping on your first order. Or you can just click the link in the description. I'll have one down there. Thank you so much, Good Chop, for sponsoring today's video. All right, let's check this thing out. I'm hopeful that this wheel is a lot better than the first one. Oh, dang it, I just snapped my mold. Wow. This is the best wheel I've ever poured. This thing is perfect. That's insane. I am so pumped on this wheel. The next step is to epoxy the hub to the wheel, so I need to clean off the mold release so the epoxy will stick. I read online to use a toothbrush and toothpaste, so that's what I'm doing. Now that they're clean, I'm roughing up the wheels and the hubs with some sandpaper, just so the epoxy will have something to bite into. On these wheels, I have a lip on the inside that the hub perfectly sits on, so I'm just gonna epoxy the hub to the wheel. For the epoxy, I'm just using what I'm most familiar with, JB Weld. I know for sure JB Weld works great with aluminum, but I'm not sure if it works with the polyurethane wheels. I've never used JB Weld on them before. Really need to make sure it's in there. While the epoxy cures, I need to make the old hubs work with the new axle, because the new axle, it's a little bit bigger, so it doesn't fit the old hubs. To make the hubs fit, I'm just taking a little bit of material off the inside with the lathe. Woo! That's awesome. So that will go something like that, right in the middle, and I'll just drill a hole through it pretty easy. I need to make sure I drill the hole in the right spot because the chain needs to line up perfectly so it doesn't come off the sprocket. So first I drilled a hole in the hub, and now I've got the hub exactly where it needs to be. So now I can drill through the axle, allowing a bolt with a little bit of Loctite to join the two. Hub is looking great, but I think there's a problem with the wheels. So the epoxy finally just dried, and it did not stick to the wheels at all. It just flakes right off. I don't know if I messed up with the cleaning or if maybe the chemicals aren't meant to work together. So plan B is just to screw the aluminum into the wheel. It feels pretty solid. Could you imagine if one of these wheels came apart on a trestle, 100 feet above the ground? That could be bad. Hopefully those stay together. With the hub in place, all I have to do is slide on the bearings and the collars, then it's ready to install. So when I bumped it trying to put the axle on, it triggered the security. I guess the post office did not want this thing getting stolen. So all I have to do is just hit the key and then it turns off. New rear axle is on. That took me hours. It was very tricky to get everything lined up. On to the front. You guys are probably wondering what I'm gonna do on the front. It's not gonna be as nice as the back, but I think it will work. So I'm gonna put a bike stand on the front wheel and weld it to my old rail cart. This is the Hovercraft rail cart, and honestly, it's junk. I did not do a very good job building it. There's no brakes, the wheels are not straight, and the axles are very bent. So it's a perfect candidate for this. Here's the big idea. Let me show you how it connects to the bike. And then I'll just strap the bike tire to the stand. I think this will work pretty good. I need to do some welding. I wonder how the steering on the front end is gonna work because I could turn the handlebars. I don't know. Maybe it'll steer itself or maybe I'm gonna have to turn it. Who knows? Okay, that is done. Oh, check out this front wheel. It's pretty bad. Yikes. Oh, I need to build my bed. Camper's all loaded up. I've got the bike tires on, and I just noticed a huge design flaw. The bike tires are 5 feet apart, and my truck bed is only about 4.5 feet wide. So I literally can't load this in my truck. I need to take the axle back off and put on different mounting points for the tires. That way I can actually slide this thing onto my tailgate without it falling off on the freeway. Oh, it's always the little things I don't even think about. First, I need to figure out where I can put these wheels. Now that I know where I can put them, it's time to head back to the mill and do everything we already did again. So I need to mill in 2 new keyways and make new keys for those keyways. But since you guys have already seen that, here's my favorite shots. Let's get this thing on the rails. Got the new axle setup on. The tires are way closer together, so it will actually fit in my truck bed this time. I am not a machinist, so when I have to do stuff like that, it takes me so long. It's now nighttime. Let's get this puppy loaded up. The bike will not turn at all because the axle's solid. Oh man, I see why they had that special diff on there. This thing is hard to turn around. It's nice to be able to walk in here now. This Hovercraft takes up pretty much the entire garage. If you haven't seen this machine, it is the coolest thing I've ever bought. It looks really rough, but it's insane. So it's a Navy flying Hovercraft. It's made out of foam. When I bought it last month, it looked like you could pretty much jump in it and fly, but there was a major problem. The wood and the fiberglass had been damaged and the foam filled up with water, which is very bad. So I tore off the entire top of it so the foam could dry, and I've been trying out some techniques. This is a waterbed heater. I bought it off Facebook Marketplace for 25 bucks. I guess you're supposed to put it under a waterbed and it heats up the water. That thing is awesome. I've been putting it on the foam and it heats up the foam and it helps the water evaporate. But there's something maybe even worse going on with the boat than water. I have an ant infestation in the boat. I'm not even making this up. I've got ant traps all over the place trying to kill these things. They've chewed so much of the foam up. I was digging in the foam and I found their colony and ants just started flying everywhere. It was crazy, and they're big ants. I think maybe they're carpenter ants. I'm not an ant expert, but they're really big. So I've got this tool. It's a moisture detector. So I can stab it into the foam and it will tell me the moisture. So this whole side of the craft is dried out. It's 0%. Let's check the other side. The other side is the wet side. All right. The duct is still drying out. Yeah. I know basically nothing about composite, but because of the videos, a bunch of people reached out that really know what they're doing. Like people that have built crazy stuff, like drone builders, airplane builders. One guy used to work for NASA. So I just want to give you guys a little update on the project. It's continuing along. It's just a really slow process. I need to see how much of the foam will dry out, and all the stuff that won't dry has to get ripped out. Also, I have to get rid of these ants. It is crazy late and I'm exhausted. I'll see you guys in the morning. We're gonna go test that puppy out. Woo! All right. Got a pretty early start. I am so excited to try out this bike. I really hope those new wheels in the back work, because if those work perfect, I'll make more of them. That resin is just so expensive. I can't make 4 wheels and not know if they're gonna work. Yeah, let's put this thing on the rails. I just have a quick ride over to him. Whoa, I'm mud bogging. These new wheels look so good. Oh, that is perfect. I didn't realize how much it was going to be raked up. Look at this. It's doing a wheelie. Well, it's a moment of truth. Let's see if this thing works. Well, I only made it a few feet. Oh man. This thing has a front parking brake, and I figured if I set the brake, it would keep the tire from moving, but the brake is not strong enough. I think I'll be able to make that work. I just need to grab some straps. Let's see if that worked. Oh man, that thing isn't going anywhere. I'll probably jump on it. Sweet. Ooh, my axles are bending a lot in the back. Can you guys see how they're bent up? That's a future map problem. Can't fix that right now. Let's see if I'm working with something sweet here. This is magical. I can feel the tire steering. I think it's working sweet. Wow. Oh. There's some beer cans. Hands off the steering wheel, I'm just pedaling. Wow. The wheels are tracking. And this bike has an automatic transmission, so all I have to do is pedal and it shifts. I can go as fast as I want. Holy moly. I wonder if I can run over obstacles. It's a perfect morning out here. This thing boogies. There's a tree in the tracks. Let's hit the brakes, test them out. The brakes work sweet. Well, I don't think I'm gonna be able to push this one off the track. I wonder if there'll be a bunch more trees down. We've got our first real turn coming up. This thing really boogies. Oh, there's a big tree down. I really hope I can fit under that tree. If I can't fit under this tree, there's gonna be an insane amount of cutting ahead of me. Oh man. There's no way I fit under this. This is a big tree. how do I even go about this? In my past life, I've got quite a bit of experience cutting trees. In this situation, it's a little bit tricky and can be very dangerous. It would be easiest for me to cut the tree right there, but that could cause a lot of problems. The problem with trees like this is there's so much leverage on the end, and there's a pivot point right there. So literally, I'm dealing with a catapult, potentially. If you've ever seen videos online of people cutting trees and the tree just going into the air, taking them out, maybe a vehicle, it's because they cut a tree where they shouldn't. The best way to go about this would be cut it at this pivot right here, and then just take it back section by section. Things can just get sketchy when you have a stump above you. That is not friendly. To safely cut that tree, it's gonna take me hours. So I'm gonna walk around the corner and make sure there's not more trees just like that. This tree would be pretty easy. I'm having so much fun on this bike, I really wanna keep going. So I'm gonna get my saw out. I'll see what kind of work I can do. I'm gonna have to cut it in a bunch of different places to do this safely. There's no way that's happening. I'd have a full beard before I cut this tree. And this saw, I'm too cheap to buy a new one. So this saw is destroyed. It's got broken teeth. It's about 4 years old. When these silky saws are in good condition, they are amazing. But that one is in pretty rough shape. Man, I want to keep going. I better come to my senses and turn this thing around. I am not equipped for that job. Rats, I bent the sprocket when I turned it around. Oh, that's why the chain's coming off. That is not good. Should have been more careful turning it around. This will put it back into place. Okay, so far so good. Man, this thing cooks. I thought I fixed the problem, but the chain is back off. May have to go a little bit slower and take it out of turbo mode. I was able to straighten the sprocket with the hammer, but I think I damaged the chain. These bike chains are pretty fragile. Yeah, it's making all sorts of noise now. Chain's back on, I tightened it up. We'll see if that fixes my issue. Look at the lean on this. I'm so glad I didn't sleep in that thing last night. It would have been really uncomfortable. Dang it. The sprocket's straight, the chain is damaged. I'm gonna turn off the electric motor and manually pedal it and see if I can keep the chain to stay on. Chain's off again. Looks like I'm pushing from here. Those back wheels are working so good. This thing is so easy to push. Without the pedal assist, this thing's gonna be really hard to load. Well, I'm high centered, so I need to put the big wheels back on. Mother Nature's looking out. There's a hole right there. So I backed my truck into it. It's gonna make the loading so much easier. I'm gonna put the chain back on one last time and see if it'll let me pedal it up the ramp. Whew. I'm pumped on this bike. There's room for a lot of improvement, but that will be for another video. Thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing. If you like this video, I have a bunch of other ones you may like even more. I'll see you in the next one.